Guess you heard I was pedal to the metal on a downhill slide.
The latest from Jason Aldean, any old bar stool on 99.3 WCON. Man, I have got a real treat for you this morning. We're going to go to the phone line, and you're not going to believe who I have on the phone with me this morning. The one and only recording artist and Opryland legend, John Conlee. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm just a little bit in awe that I'm talking to you, and so excited to have our listeners hear from you. I feel like I'm just talking to someone that I need a fan right now. Actually, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm just a little nervous talking to you.
Well, don't be. There's no need to be. We're all breathing the same air.
Do you get that from ladies a lot? I bet you do.
Well, yeah, every now and then, every now and then. Some guys too, I mean, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. But it's, it's very flattering, but, nervousness is unnecessary.
Well, normally I'm not so nervous, but I've listened to your music my whole life, and, John Conlee, you hear the name John Conlee, and you just think that's the great John Conlee.
Well, see, now, but maybe yours is coming from the fact that you have a brother named John Conlee. Maybe that's it.
Well, I think that, yeah, my brother is a pastor, so that kind of makes me nervous.
Really?
I'm going to tell you, you get around him, John, you'll get nervous too.
There you go. Well, I look forward to meeting him. I hope I can someday.
Yeah, we just had that little discussion. You and John have a lot in common, more than I thought. But you're coming to Gainesville April the 8th to do a concert, and folks are really getting excited. We gave away some tickets to that event this morning, and the phones were just blistering hot. So what kind of music can we expect that night?
Well, we've had 30-some-odd hits over all these years since the late 70s when we got started, and we will obviously concentrate on, at least the biggest ones of those and get as many in as we can. But we're recording new music along the way. I have my own record label, and we have a series called Classics that is out. Classics 1 and 2 are both out there now. And they're, again, some of the hits we've had over all these years. Classics 2 has a lot of new music on it, and we're getting ready to do the third and final series in the Classic series. More of the hits and even more new music coming up. And we're going to be doing some of those new songs from both 2 and 3 at the show when we come to see everybody on the 8th.
Now, John, you've been in country music some time now, and you've seen the transformation of the country music sound. How have you balanced being true to the music style you had when you first started and then finding a place in today's music sound?
Well, I don't try to chase the trends at all. I never have. I still look for songs the same way I always did, which is to say I look for songs that have a story to tell, and as I like to put it, that have meat on their bones. And I don't like to do the fluffy stuff. So when we do these new songs that we've just been talking about, I looked for those and found them exactly the same way I found the early hits we've had over, when we were on the charts all the time. Haven't changed that at all, nor will I. I mean, I just think the thing that's wrong, if there's anything wrong with what they're doing now, it's they ignore song and sound too much, in my opinion. They don't really look intentionally for, it seems, for distinctive voices, and they certainly, in a lot of cases, don't do songs that have much to say, and I miss that.
Yes.
And at the same time, I get to meet a lot of the people who are making today's music, and they're very nice folks. I get to see them at the Opry, get to introduce them a lot of times for their first appearance on the Opry, and as they come back to guest with us and so forth. They're great folks. It's not their fault that it's being done the way it is. That's just the industry. The industry is choosing everything by committee for the most part. And when you do that, you water down a lot of the soul in it, I think.
I think you're right. I saw the same trend developing before I returned to country music in the Christian music vein,
right,
where the same songs are being recorded over and over, and, they're being a little different twist done to them, and new music that actually tells that story that people can attach to. there's very few songs coming out like that. So I look forward to hearing some of your newer stuff.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm real proud of what we've got out there. And like I say, we're going to keep that going with Classics 3. And then my intention, after we get that one available and get the pictures taken and everything wrapped up on that, my intention is to go back in the studio and do a second gospel project. I have one out now called Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus that we put out several years ago. And it's mostly the old standards, either out of the hymn book or out of the Southern Gospel catalog. And we're going to do, I hope, another one of those projects following the release of Classics 3. So I'm looking forward to that.
I see that's a trend developing in country music artists, too. Reba McEntire just released a gospel project, and I totally was into it. So.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the only prayer we have, it's always been true, but never more true than today, with the things going on in our culture, our world, and our country, is for us to return to God. And if some of the music can help folks see that direction, so much the better. That's sort of my purpose in it. In fact, I'm spending more time thinking about the gospel stuff than I am country. It's not to say if I found another great country song I wouldn't cut it. I would, but my thoughts and my heart really is with gospel right now.
That's great. That's great. So when you started your journey, tell us the motivation, the passion you had, how that has evolved over time and changed, or has it?
No, it really hasn't. The only reason music worked out as a career for me is because I used to do what you're doing. I mean, I was on the radio for 9 years, 7 of the 9 in Nashville at WLAC. And that's the only reason I moved to Nashville, was because I got that job at that radio station. Had I not gotten that job, if I'd ended up in another market, Louisville, Atlanta, or somewhere else, then music would have just remained a hobby. But because I found myself in Music City, USA, after I'd been here a while, I got to know some of the people in the industry and started writing more intentionally and started pitching those songs around town. And that's what allowed the hobby to turn into a career. And it's the only reason it did.
Very interesting. I remember reading that in your bio that you were a DJ once. So
I was, yeah.
So I'm sure you're very good to your DJs when they come to your concerts, right?
Oh, sure. They're kindred spirits. I fell in love with radio and music at the same time when I was a kid. I would take a guitar lesson on Saturday morning, which only lasted a short time, and had time to kill while Mom finished shopping. So I'd go across the street in Lexington, Kentucky, and hang out at a local radio station for the 2 or 3 hours every Saturday. And fell in love with both things at the same time. And I probably spent more time practicing reading commercials and news copy and all that stuff than I did the guitar. A lot of times, a lot of weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're really looking forward to welcoming you to Northeast Georgia. You have a lot of fans here. Your songs are regularly requested. We play the currents and the classics, and a lot of folks really appreciate the fact that we play a lot of the classics. And I can't wait to add your new stuff to the lineup. So you'll have to send me some of your new stuff. Make sure that I get it specially sent to me so I can throw it in on the morning show.
That sounds like a winner to me. We can do that.
Now, are you bringing anyone with you when you come on April the 8th?
Well, of course, we have our full-time band, the John Conlee Band. We do everything together. But as far as other artists, no, it'll just be us, and we'll be as one-on-one with everybody as possible. We'll, there'll be a meet and greet for those who have gone for that before the show, and then I'll have another one basically after the show where I can, take pictures, sign autographs, and just interact with folks.
I was looking at ticket prices, very affordable, and even the meet and greet can be within budget for so many people. So I hope folks will come out and be a part of the evening. It's going to be a great evening. You'll get to meet John Conlee, and you'll get to get your hands on some of his music and just be a part just a great evening. So, John, thank you so much for taking some time to hang out with me, and I look forward to meeting the man who has the same name as my only brother, my favorite brother,
Right.
John Wayne Conlee. I'm spilling the beans on you, John.
That's fine. That's a good deal. That's now if we can only get you the spelling correct on your family name, then we'd be in just perfect shape. But I guess we can't do that.
Well, we could argue about that, whether yours is right or whether mine's right.
You know, Earl says Earl and I are friends, of course. Earl Thomas, and he spells his name the way you all do.
The right way, you know.
The right way, exactly. But he's convinced that somewhere back in our family lines, because my family did at one time, I don't know how long ago, but at one time they did spell it Ley.
Really?
And oh yeah, they did. So legend has it. I don't have any proof of it, but he's convinced that we're related. So maybe we are too. You never know.
You never know. You never know. Well, with your love for gospel music, I can just about guarantee you there's got to be some connection there. If it's not biological, it's got to be spiritual.
Absolutely. Well, that's all that matters anyway, really.
You know that's
biologically,
right.
we're all related to Adam and Eve from there down. So we're all kin. Yep.
Well, I want to feature the song that you were just telling us about, your latest gospel project. We're going to do it right here, smack dab in the middle of country, because I just can, and I'm going to.
There you go. Okay.
We're going to play Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. Thank you, John. Have a great day, and see you on the 8th of April.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus.